Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And of course, I wondered what was going to take him so long. There are theories out there from cartoon stans on Twitter that Gwen's...
They have nothing else to do.
They have nothing else to do. Nothing else to do, but there are theories that Gwen Stacy is trans because there was a trans flag in her bedroom, and also her costume could be interpreted as being a trans flag adjacent color scheme.
But she's been around for
years.
Yeah.
Like almost 10 years now. Yeah, we're going to talk about this. You know, the theory, okay, of course this is happening because cartoon stans, I'm not calling them fans, I'm calling them stans. We're talking like hyper fans, have theories. They always project themselves into these cartoons, right? That's not the issue. What I want to talk about is the studio needs to be very, very careful that they don't acknowledge something as being canonical or even bait the fans with it, because if it turns out that is not the case, which I personally don't think it is the case, I think it's something else going on here, but if that's not the case, you're going to be on the receiving end of all kinds of threats, all kinds of harassment.
Even if it's not the case and they say nothing, they're going to start demanding it. And if they don't say anything, they're going to keep demanding. It's, these people are ridiculous.
Yes, the cartoon stans on Twitter, formerly from Tumblr, are literally some of the most psychotic people. Not all. I won't be clear. I'm not talking just people who like animation.
People just do basic shipping.
Or people who do basic shipping. I'm talking the ones who will send you death threats. We'll talk about, again, what happened with Voltron and with Steven Universe and even She-Ra to somebody. Like, these people are insane. They're insane. And this is the audience that's claiming Gwen is trans. By God, if they don't get what they want, you're going to hear about it. Now, the question is, are studios smart enough to sidestep or ignore these demands?
They need to be.
You know, or are they going to play into it and be like, yeah, that's what our fans want. Well, she could be whatever you want her to be, guys.
That's what like a small group of your fans want that usually have a bazillion alt accounts.
Yeah, ask parents who are buying Spider-Gwen action figures because they have a preschool show. Mm-hmm. Ask them if they're cool with it, because I don't know if they're going to be cool.
I mean, if it was the way it was intended, you can't really say anything. But I don't know if it was.
I personally do not believe it, because Spider-Gwen... Now, we're talking animated versus comic book. The comic book version of this version of Gwen was a variant of Gwen Stacy, actual Gwen Stacy, biological woman, you know, born a woman, became a Spider-Woman. You know, that's the thing.
Horrible bigot, menstruating person.
Menstruating. Spider-menstruator. Yeah, so I don't know. Of course, this conversation is coming up because, you know, it's June, right?
Spider-birther's already taken, so.
Spider-birther?
It's already taken.
Wait, they have a Spider-birth?
Don't they have the one girl running around that's Spider-Woman, she's pregnant?
Oh, Spider-Woman's pregnant. Oh my God. The amazing Spider-birther. So let's talk about this, because this is what happens when you put a lot of messaging in your movie too, because people are going to have certain expectations. You set the expectations. Before you do any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
We talk a lot about animation, talk a lot about comics. Now, we have said, we did a video yesterday talking about how well Spider-Verse is doing. And, you know, we have both said we liked the original movie.
What has nothing to do with that?
This has nothing to do with it.
This isn't to do with her being, if she's canonically trans. This is about the fact that the people are going to demand it, and the companies are going to, we're going to have to see what the companies are going to do, because they're screwed either way.
Yes.
It's a no-win situation.
That is it. There is absolutely no way to win this unless you give the shippers what.
Yeah, because they're all running with. Oh, of course, the Mary Sue would be.
The Mary Sue is running with it. We Got This Covered is running with it. So yeah, and the story as inclusive as Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse with Black, Asian, queer, and disabled spider people. That should be a group. Actually, I could see that on a comic book cover. We could have Black, Asian, queer, disabled spider peoples.
For some reason, I could think it's like YMCA. I don't know why, but
it makes perfect sense for the male and female leads to be representing minorities. Miles is an Afro-Latino superhero, and Gwen is a transgender woman, apparently. No, I do not believe that.
It's been long speculated that she is. Since when?
Since when? This is the first I've heard of it. No, it's been long speculated on
on Twitter.
on Twitter and Tumblr and crazy ass cartoon stand discords. Like the general public has never, I have never seen this come up ever, because everybody knew Gwen was a variant of the Gwen from 616, Peter's girlfriend.
They're trying to get them to agree to it. Whether she is or isn't doesn't impact the story that much. Right, because it's not about that. And it'd be a nice little nod to the trans community if it were true, especially to have such a high-profile superhero confirmed as a member of the LGBTQ plus minority.
Another one?
It would be big points representation on Sony's part. They're trying to leverage it so Sony agrees to it.
But we have yet to get any official word on the matter. That's okay. We've got our people out there sending threats to people who worked on the shows to make sure we get what we want.
Let's not count on these grouchy corporations to give us our way.
Oh my God.
This is leverage. This is like passive aggressive bullshit. Like look at all that PR you'd be getting, Sony. It'd be a real shame if you don't do it.
Yeah, so the supporting evidence. So this goes back to, and people did videos on that, and we didn't do videos on it because I personally thought it was a non-issue. Gwen Stacy has a Protect Trans Kids poster in her room, but this version of Gwen seems more activist-minded. You got to realize, too, I mean, regardless of the movie, how you feel about the movie itself, whether it's good or the people working on the movie are quote unquote woke. I mean, this is not a secret. They've come out and said.
But here's the thing though too. If she is, then they've been doing it in a way that's organic. It doesn't matter. So you want them to turn around and just make it all matter and then make it that's the driving force of who she is.
Yeah. So they were able to get people to go to this movie without making a big deal about
anybody.
Like, oh my God, you got to go see. Did you go see the Black Spider-Man movie? You need to go see the. Like, you talk about all this representation, but the way they marketed the movie is, look, it's a fun Spider-Man movie. Come see the fun Spider-Man movie.
Like, like they should.
Right. Now, is there lots of messaging in it? People have said, yeah, there's buttons and banners and shirts. And again, I think that is the staff of the movie inserting their own beliefs into the movie when they can. But of course, when you pander to a certain audience, being this kind of an audience, right? It's never enough. You can't just sneak a poster in the background. You got to make sure you come right out and be like, no, Spider-Gwen, yeah, she tucks,
Right. Well, it's like, is there a strong ally or trans herself? Because her dad has a flag on his jacket or something, and it could be. But the fact of the matter is, they did it in a way that they wanted. They did a lot of representation in this movie. They didn't make a big deal about it. They weren't like pointing like, look, here's representation. Like they should do movies. But now you want them to walk that back and make a big deal about it, which is going to like completely be the opposite of what they need to do.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that Gwen's color scheme strongly resembles the trans colors with sharp blues, whites, and
pinks. So do a lot of things.
Actually, it's black. It's mostly black and white with a little bit of girly flair. It's got the pink and the blue because it looks good. But she was Ghost Spider originally, and that was kind of the black and white, the monochromatic, and she's got a cool costume. She does. This is in contrast.
I wear it.
You would wear it? Okay.
Not in public.
Okay. I hope not, because that'd be weird. Some of these people probably would.
I need eye bleach for some people. Anyway.
Oh, this is in contrast to Miles' reds, blues, and blacks. She's certainly a walking trans flag.
No, not really.
No, not really. So it's no wonder that Spider-Man fans are crafting their own headcanons. This is when, so here's the problem. This is when...
you can never wear white, blue, and pink together, guys. If you do, that automatically makes you trans because the internet says so.
Peter Parker was supposed to be bi because he rolled up his pant legs or something.
Wait, what?
I'm not kidding. There was a thing a couple of years ago. Peter Parker is bi because Tom Holland rolled up his pant legs, and that supposedly means something. That's supposed to be it's like these shippers they're crazy. And they've already destroyed Peter Parker in the comics. Like he's never going to be Spider-Man again. He's always going to be second fiddle to somebody else. He's always going to be broken. He's always going to be, but yeah. So now we're coming for Gwen. Now I personally, I did not create Spider-Gwen, but, she's been around for almost 10 years now, and I personally do not believe that is the case, but they will retroactively do it just to get some points from people. I don't think that was the case. I don't think she was created to be trans, but again, they will find something, latch onto it, and then they will, retcon a character to make it so. And they've done this multiple times.
Right. And then the thing is, this audience, though, when you do that, you give them what they want. They just want, then it's never enough. More.
Will Marvel Comics do it? Oh, hell yeah, because they just made Gwenpool asexual, and she had this big, long conversation about being asexual all of a sudden.
No one cares.
Nobody cares. Tim Drake has never shown any interest in boys ever. And then one day it's like, guess what? I'm bisexual, and my best friend, I want to make out with them. And there was no indication. Both creators of both characters, of Tim Drake and his now boyfriend, they both came out publicly and said that was never our intention to make Tim Drake gay.
Doesn't matter because the internet.
It was never.
And then they were like, "Why are we failing? Why are we losing money?"
Because you let shippers make all the decisions, and you got shippers working at the companies now too, and they're making these stupid decisions, and there's no editorial oversight. Because comic books don't matter enough.
Well, I think too was the fact that like when it comes to this situation, the people I think they were just inserting like different flags or different things in there, just like pins and things they throughout the movie. They weren't thinking that people were going to go running with this. So, and if they did, and they did it on purpose, then they might be in trouble at Sony if that was not the intention. If it was the intention, then it is what it is.
Now I haven't seen the movie yet, but apparently there's a conversation. Goon's father, is that?
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the movie yet, but apparently Gwen talks about losing a friend, and there's the protect trans kids flag, and her dad has a protect trans. It could be that she lost a friend that was trans, and that's some backstory that they didn't go into because you can't do that either. Because if you do that, it'd be like, oh yeah, you killed a trans kid in the movie, you're awful too. But of course this is going to come up. Now the question is, will they?
That's their evidence. The flag and the pin,
yes.
or the flag and the patch.
Yes,
that's their evidence.
Yes,
and their colors happen to be colors that are on the translate.
So now back to the whole voice actor debacle with animation, right? You have to be the character you're portraying. You can't be too light skinned. You can't be the wrong gender. You can't be the wrong religion. Haley Steinfeld is a cis woman, I believe.
Yeah.
So why is she voicing Gwen? If that is the case, she needs to be fired immediately because those are the rules.
Yeah.
Those are the rules now, right? You had to fire the guy playing Sunspot because his skin color is too light. Mm-hmm. This is ridiculous. So we'll see. So good luck with that if it is the case. And again, we've talked about this at length. We've been on the receiving end of these crazy ass shippers, and I will call them crazy ass shippers because these people cannot function in normal society. I do not believe on any level. I think the internet has given voices to people.
Again, we're talking about the extremist people that behave this way we're talking about.
I am not talking, I want to be very clear because we're fans of animation as well. I am not talking about your typical animation fan. I'm talking about the people that live on Twitter, that spend all day on Twitter and Discord, doxing people, harassing people, looking for micro transgressions to get people canceled because it all comes back to their cartoon shows and people saying shit about their cartoon shows. And then it came from the K-pop, the K-pop stands, which bled into the animation scene and all that. And it's just Tumblr cancel culture bullshit. And a lot of these people, I would think they're like maybe 13, 14 years old. And it turns out they're like, 32.
Yeah, I know.
And they're pulling this shit. And they did this to Voltron very famously. And we had one of the voice actors was like, the next over-the-top shipper who thinks I'm talking about their precious ship and sends me a death threat tonight is going to get a call from the cops at 4 a.m. And it's happened. Multiple shows. In fact, I brought up Fresher Luke earlier in the video, and he's been on the receiving end of shit lately on Twitter. I've seen people were bringing up stuff that happened because he worked on Steven Universe, I guess, briefly. And people were bringing stuff up, brand new accounts, 0 followers or whatever, right. harassing. And these people will carry a freaking grudge for years. We still have people coming after us for shit we said about She-Ra 4 or 5 years ago.
No one cares about She-Ra.
Nobody cares.
They literally stepped over it.
They stepped over
it. I hope they kicked it on the way. They kicked it a couple times on the way over it. And they're moving on to other things.
There's no season 6. There will not be a season 6.
Season 6, man. That wasn't even enough for season 1. It was barely a season 1.
There's no movie, and Mattel is not even acknowledging this series exists. All the She-Ra stuff that's coming out from Mattel is classic.
Right.
Classic
Like
She-Ra.
I said, I hope if you step over it, you kick it a couple times, but accidentally, air quotes.
But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this has been going on for a while. So I hope you guys, if you acknowledge this for quote unquote woke points, I hope you know you're playing with fire, because this never goes well with this crowd. It doesn't. So are we going to wrap this up? All right. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.